Okay, rolling right through. Joining me now, great pleasure, my pal, Greg Gutfeld, who's taken some time out. He's the host of Gutfeld, and he's the co-host of The Five, and he's a very busy chap. But I just want to say, reading about all this and your family, okay, wars are hell. Lots of bad things happen. But one good thing happened. Your mother-in-law got out of Ukraine into Poland into safety?
Yeah, I have to resist making mother-in-law jokes because so many people would be like, so wait a minute, let me get this. You actually helped her get out of a war-torn country. It was an amazing thing because I was looking at, when I heard about it, I was contacting these organizations, and some of them you have to pay. And they're like, they're pretty serious businesses. And I was looking at that, and then I get a call from Trey Yinks, and he's like, hey, we're going to be driving by there.
Oh.
I mean, it was pretty amazing. And it was like, I had talked to somebody at Fox who had talked to somebody, and it just kind of moved quickly. And within like a couple of hours, I mean, this guy, I think maybe I've only talked to Trey, in this kind of venue, not like a, hey, pal, I've never met him in person. And the fact that these people would do this, and then you had Steve Harrigan in the car for like, I don't know how many hours, days, with this woman that he's never, a little elderly lady, and he knew some Russian, so that helped. And driving across a war-torn country. I would say it would be a great book, but I don't know how you turn like a car ride into a book. Unless you
I bet you could.
I bet you could. I would try, but I would say, I was like, it was so.
But the Fox crew is better than the Red Army.
It's amazing.
Much more.
Harrigan was a bit Harrigan, and then you got, Scott Wilder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Scott's over here figuring stuff out, and and I'm in upstate New York screaming, what's going on, what's happening, and they're like, they figured it all out. It was pretty amazing, and I mean, they didn't have to do it. I mean, like they had to get out of there on their own. So pulling over to this half an hour out of their way to pick up this little old lady who's terrified, and
what happens next for her? Does she stay in Poland? Does she come to the U.S.?
I don't know, man. It's tough.
What does your wife want to do? Because you have to do what your wife wants to do.
Exactly. Right. Well, I don't think she's ever been as happy as she was when she saw her mom. I don't know if you saw that video when they met in Poland. She hasn't been that happy since I moved to the guest room because I snore. But yeah, I'm going to use that joke later.
That's a good one.
Yes, I'm going to. Hopefully, there's no overlap with my show at 11 and your show, so they can hear that joke again. But
the financial people go to bed early.
They have to because they get up at 4. But no, I think. She's Ukrainian Russian and she's born in Ukraine. My wife was born in Ukraine, but you're Ukraine and you have a Russian passport. Things are weird, and it's just like and also I don't know what really is going on, but there's so many people desperate in Poland right now, and I understand it. So they're just they're holed up in a hotel room.
Wow.
Yep, ordering a lot of room service on my American Express card. Yeah. Don't think I haven't been noticing.
You're going back on the air, so the
Tonight.
pay resumes. It's very exciting.
Tonight with Bill Hemmer and Dagan McDowell, we're going to try. It's hard. We got to juggle. We got to keep it between understanding this is a serious time, but also understanding that people need some kind of laughter. And I turn most of the humor on me. I try to make myself into the butt of jokes because that seems to be how people like it.
Self-effacing is the best kind of humor.
Yes, especially with this face.
Some politicians could learn a lot from that. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
As you report on, and you're going to go back to the show, you've been doing the Five. Can I ask, why doesn't Joe Biden stand up on his hind legs? General Keane said he should put his big boy pants on. Mm-hmm. And every time Putin saber rattle back, like we have big time nukes. Our economy is vastly greater than yours. And say to this guy, you know what? The Ukrainians have stymied you and stopped you. You have not achieved any of your goals. Your Red Army is deserting left and right because they're getting killed on the so-called convoy to Kiev. Force them to negotiate. Sit down.
Yeah.
Biden's the guy, American president. Force them to negotiate.
But this is not.
Just pound them.
But this is interesting coming from you because this is not. I would not call it a Trumpian strategy. He's more of finding an exit ramp for your status. That's what Putin needs. Exit ramp to save his humiliation. And Trump would know. Trump would go like, okay. you did okay. You know, we're not going to get you involved in NATO right now. We're going to do some other, he would try to do something else. But who knows? Maybe it's too late for that. Maybe what you're talking about is correct. But the funny thing is, Biden spent a lot of time dealing with the Ukrainians. He should be spending time now because, he was in that gift shop.
Yeah.
He broke that.
I know.
He's got to fix it.
And his son may still be in that gift shop for all we
Exactly.
know. Only time and judicial activity will tell. No, I take a rather Reagan view, Greg.
Right.
Reagan's view with Russia was always, we win, you lose.
Yeah, peace through
Putin's
strength.
taken his best shot at the Ukrainians. It's 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And however belatedly, Biden's now agreeing, he's putting more money in. He should let these Soviet MiGs go to Ukraine, for heaven's sakes. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm just getting tired of watching Putin kind of push us
not
around.
there. He's not there. He's not.
Like,
What I'm saying is he's vacant in almost every issue.
Yeah.
It's not. He was late on vaccines.
Right.
He was late on inflation.
Right.
He wasn't even there during crime. And so we can't expect him to be present here. He's never been the first, second, third guy there.
Right.
If somebody has to bring him into the room and explain to him what's going on.
and we've talked about this on your show. By the way, I think I'm coming back Monday. I got an invitation.
Excellent.
I'm very excited
Excellent.
about that.
I like it because you bring brownies.
Because it's the most fun I've ever had. Why does Biden feel compelled on all these issues? Let's take inflation, take the diplomacy, take Afghanistan. Why does he lie? Why does he have to lie? He's saying to you, black is not white and white is not black, and he's losing grounds in every poll. It's a matter of character, as Steve Forbes just said. Why?
I'm cynical in the sense that I believe that almost all politicians lie. He lies more because he doesn't care as much. I think this is a job that he got after he no longer wanted it, and I don't think he's actually paying that much attention. He is a perfect vessel for the left.
Yeah.
They got exactly what they wanted. I mean, the stuff that he did immediately when he came in, and now what he's doing, it's obvious to me that he's not the one running the show. The question is, who is?
Who is?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't.
Which were you, Larry?
You know what? I don't object to mistakes.
Neither do I. If you own up to them.
That's right.
Yep.
It shows a certain, Reagan made some mistakes. He made some whoppers. He signed some legislation, and then later on he said, that was the biggest mistake I ever made. I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah. I kind of like that. That goes to your self-effacing humor, okay? We are human. Biden, on the other hand, looks straight in the camera at all these goofball press things and just lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Or he is so clueless. I mean, he had no idea about the supply chain issues. Remember when he was first asked? He had no idea what it was. Granted, neither did I. I've never heard of supply chain until the last, year and a half. And I'll admit that. But Joe, he should know what that is. Right? He should. He should know a little bit more than me. Just a little.
I'm not at all sure. Greg Gutfeld. He returns tonight, folks, on the fabulous show Gutfeld, which is kicking butt all across the networks, and we'll continue to do so. Thank you, Greg.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate it very much.